Hi, I'm Len Ganley, and I'm going to be presenting my portfolio project from React Native. It's a virtual game shelf called Shellfish. So here you can see in the app, when it first loads up, we get a splash screen while it makes a fetch call out to the Board Game Atlas API, and that happens over here in my game slice. I am using Redux along with React Native just to keep track of state. So once the fetch is made from the API, we go out to the Board Game Atlas. The URL here is where I'm building it, and it's just a bunch of different components all together. I can more easily swap the different variables in and out to make different API calls as I expand the app. So here you can see the list is being generated in my games list here. So we have they're swipeable. So eventually I will have delete buttons and the option to favorite things over here. And then each of these has their own avatar, their title, the year it was published, the number of players that the game is appropriate for, the time it takes to play the game, and then the age range for the game. So here you can see 5-minute mystery. When we click on that, it takes you to the information page. And up here you have another option for favoriting a game. The image for it, the rating, learning complexity, and gameplay complexity, all which come from the Board Game Atlas API. And then down here we'll have links for game page, rules page, and store link. So when you click the store link, it will take you over to the Board Game Atlas website for that game. And this would be good for users who make wish lists. They'll be able to easily find the game for purchase. And then you have just some extra information about the about each of the games. And if we go back, you can see that Chronicles of Crime, for example. Again, we have the image and then this information. And then Chronicles of Crime actually does have the learning complexity and gameplay complexity, so those scores are included. And then I have some logic over here for if the score comes back 0, then I just give it a not available, since it was not voted on. The goals for the app, I wanted to make something that would track a user's board game collection. I wanted to work with an external API to bring information in, and I wanted to demonstrate an understanding of React Native, of user experience design, and just design principles in general. The technology I used, aside from React and Redux, I used Adobe XD to do some prototyping, and Photoshop Illustrator just to make some of the assets. The challenges I faced, the board game, I originally wanted to use the Board Game Geek API, but it was kind of clunky and it didn't work very well, and it returned XML instead of JSON, and I was trying to figure out how to use that and was just having a hard time. So I would just pick a different API to use, and the Board Game Atlas API ended up working out very well. And then there was also the issue with having to learn how to get the information from the API to use in the app. So here we have we bring in the information from the list, and then I sort it so that it's alphabetical to make the games easier to find. It's not perfect, but down here at the end, like the thes are, instead of like going by faceless, few, and cursed. So that's just a problem that I'm looking forward to solving in the future. And then here we have the logic for the information that I'm using here, along with the icons. It's coming along very well. I'm not done with it yet. I'm looking forward to finishing it. And I'm also looking forward to checking out the next and final chapter of the full stack course. So thank you for checking out my app.